Welcome in. Today is, what day is it? Tuesday, April 14th, the 29th stream of the income stream. Today we're going to talk about your story bank. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to do a couple website reviews, plus I have a goal that we're going to get, hopefully, and a challenge for you too. Welcome to the income stream.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Good morning, good evening, good night. No matter where you are in the world, thank you so much for tuning in today. Sporting the Bob Ross shirt today. No mistakes, just happy accidents. That's what we try to teach our kids. You know, that's what makes Bob Ross amazing, right? Just his sayings, just his calmness, his hair, and of course, the amazing artwork that he has, and the stories that he tells. And I wanted to talk to you to start off the show today about your story bank. And I have to give credit to where credit's due. I always try to do that. And then we're gonna get into some shout outs. Then we're gonna do some Q&A, website reviews, more Q&A, and we'll finish off with a challenge and the light goal for today. But your story bank. I have to credit Ramit Sethi for teaching me this. I was chatting with him once at a conference, and he had just given a great presentation on stage and was telling these really amazing stories. And I just happened to comment about the amazing stories he was telling. He's like, you know what, Pat, I want to tell you a little secret. And this thing is called building your story bank. That is, he has a collection of stories that he collects in his life over time, and he actually documents them, puts them into, I don't know how he files them, but I thought this was a really smart idea, because if you go to speak on stage quite often, if you speak on a podcast or have a YouTube channel or even a blog, having a bank of stories that you can pull from for different examples it's absolutely key, because stories are what people remember. Stories creates context, it makes things more relatable, and it allows you to teach, but in a more memorable way. So even if you are teaching in a list post style, which is sort of the least storytelling type of style of thing, right? Like top 5 ways to promote your next Facebook ad for lower CPMs, you can still tell stories to set things up. And if any of you have ever seen me on stage, I tell stories before each of my points. If you've seen my Raving Fans / Super Fans presentation, I tell stories about my wife and the Backstreet Boys and how much of a big fan she is of that. That's how I start the presentation. If I just started the presentation with, just getting right into the lessons, it wouldn't be as memorable. And even now, years later, after people have seen that presentation, it's always the stories that people bring up that they remember. And it's those stories that then enclose the lessons that allow us to be able to sort of continue that message even after we're done giving that message. It's what also gets shared as well, which I think is really important. So I would encourage you to start collecting stories into your story bank. How do I do that? I have an Evernote account where I create different folders of different stories. And this is the hardest part about this. You have to just keep your eyes open and your ears open during the day. And these little things that may not seem like they're that important can become great stories and lessons for your presentation. So let me give you a quick example. And Rafal, thank you so much for the super chat. It's going to pop in here on the screen in just a minute. Appreciate you. You've been very consistent with that. By the way, the super chats, not required. These are like paid comments to have your comment highlighted. I'll give you a shout out, obviously. If you have a question, I'll be more likely to answer it, but not required. And all the money gets donated to the San Diego Food Bank, by the way. So just keep that in mind. I'm not here to make money through that. So anyway, yeah. So story bank, Evernote. And let me give you an example of a story of just something that might happen in your daily life and how it could be tied into a thing that you're doing on stage, on a YouTube video, on a blog, or a podcast. So this one day, Keone had come up to me and I was going to go get lunch and he wanted to come with me. And I was like, cool, I could use some support. And he goes, not Pat. What? He doesn't call me Pat. That's rude. He has to stay home if he calls me that. No, he goes, Daddy, can I bring the iPad into the car? Can I play the iPad in the car? And this happens all the time, right? Like kids asking to play their devices in places they shouldn't. And that's just a normal thing. However, I turned this into a story that then went on stage to demonstrate something. So the story goes like this. Keone said, Daddy, not Pat, can I play the iPad in the car? And, typically April and I, we always say no because card time is actually great community time. Now, we're obviously not driving anywhere these days, but we like to use the time in the car to tell stories to each other, to quiz, to ask questions, to have the kids ask us questions, not sort of just dive into some device and sort of be lost for a moment. So usually we just say no, but I wanted to play along a little bit and see what he would say and how he would respond to if I had said, okay, well, Keone, sure, but you have to convince me why I need to say yes to you playing the iPad in the car. And he goes, oh, really? Okay. So I could see his gears turning in his head, and he goes, okay, well, Daddy, I think I should play iPad in the car because Minecraft's really fun, and I like to play games, and I think it'd be really cool. And I go to him and I go, well, that's good for you, but what's in it for me? How are you going to sell me on you playing the iPad in the car? And he goes, okay, well, I don't get it. And so we're going through this back and forth. I mean, even at one point, I get down on my knee and I'm like, son, you have to sell it to me. And he goes, you want me to sell your iPad back to you? And I'm like, no, okay, you're not getting this. Tell me why it's a benefit to me for you to play that iPad in the car, right? So I'm trying to teach him that he has to speak my language. He has to give me something in exchange for something that he can get back in return. And then all of a sudden he goes, well, Daddy, I think that if I play the iPad in the car, I'm going to be a little bit more quiet. And so it'll be less distracting and I won't distract you when we're in the car. And I was like, okay, like that's pretty good. Now we're getting somewhere, right? However, I'm a good driver. You could talk all you want. I'm going to be safe. So that's not really that helpful. But I liked where his head was going. So I said, okay, well, you need to try a little bit better, but I like where you're going. You're headed in the right direction. And he blew me away with what he said next. He said, all right, Danny, well, you were an architect, right? And I was like, yes. Why? And he goes, well, the more time I have to play Minecraft, the more time I can learn how to build, and I can even learn new different ways to build, and I can teach you how to be a better architect too. And I was like, okay, this is all right. You're playing to who I am and my past, and you're making me look good. Okay. I let him play with the iPad in the car. Now, the next time we went in the car, he goes, Daddy, can I bring the iPad in the car? I said, no. And I said, you can't sell it to me this time. That was a one-time deal. But again, that story has made its way on stage before about speaking to your audience, speaking their language, making sure that when you're selling something or you want something, that you're making it of benefit to the other person too. And how many times has this come across in the website reviews that we've done here, which again, we're going to do a little bit later at the half-hour mark. But I just wanted to hear for the intro, just share that story with you. And again, that's now a story in my story bank that I pull out. The other cool thing about the story bank is if you happen to be in conversations just in normal life, even with just friends, and you have these stories in mind, guess what happens? These stories come out in just normal dinner conversations, and you look like the most polished communicator in the world. And it's polished because you did polish it. These are stories that you tell and you frame and you create in a way that can be very much, thank you, the trucking couple. I appreciate you for the super chat there. That's amazing. So yeah, pull out these stories, collect them, the ones that seem to be great or relevant to the things that you're doing next. Start to structure them, start to make them have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then this way, and add some humor in there, add some jokes, and this becomes a really valuable, engaging way for you to present something on whatever platform you happen to be on, online and offline. So use your stories. And again, stories that don't matter to you likely can still be put into something as long as you sort of think a little bit harder about it. Also, Just Samson with the shout out as well and the super chat. Thank you so much for that. Good morning, Pat. Question: will the beard come off after the quarantine is lifted? Cool. So let's just progress into some Q&A because I'm here for you. So will the beard come off after the quarantine? Probably at some point, but honestly, I'm really liking it. I didn't know I could grow a beard this thick. You know, I have Asian descent, being half Filipino, but I guess that half is not up here on my face because Filipinos can't grow beards normally. So here I am, my Russian, Polish, Irish side, quarter Irish, eighth Russian, eighth Polish, half Filipino, aka Mutt. So yeah, a lot of things going on there, but I think I'm going to keep it for now. Appreciate that. Trekking Couple says, hi, Pat. When I set up live on Ecamm, I have to enter description, tag, and monetize. Is there a way to automate it? Thank you for your info. So yes, you'll have to do that every time if you just go live now, every single time manually. Now, if you follow what I do at the second part of that video where you set up if you're doing this on YouTube, you can set up the waiting room ahead of time, in which case you can actually select from a drop-down menu a pre-filled out title and description based on what you filled out on YouTube. So you'd still have to do it on YouTube. However, if you do, I've noticed this, if you stream every single day, in fact, I can just hit a button and it pops in all the information from the previous day, and I just have to change the date and a few other things in there. By the way, a lot of you have been wondering where the Slack group is for this channel. The community here has on their own created a Slack channel. Shout out to Ern for Rap and Combat, who you already see here in the room. For your convenience, I put the link down in the description, or at least I hope it's in the description. Anyway, it should be in there if you want to check that out and join the group. And it's just a fun place to have conversations about what we talk about here and connect after the show is done. And yeah, so anyway, going back to the trekking couple, you'll have to put it in there every single time unless you do the sort of automated way through YouTube, but still you'd have to sort of manually go in there. It's a little bit annoying in Ecamm to do on the bottom left-hand corner because it's quite small. If you wanted to make it easy for yourself, you can come up with these ahead of time, put them in a note or a Word doc of some kind, a Google Doc, and just copy paste them so you don't have to do it manually every time. You'll be better prepared that way because you don't want to have to go, okay, I'm going to go live at the top of the hour, and then you realize, holy moly, I didn't even put the title and the description in there yet. You can write it out ahead of time. So thank you for that. Let's see. We got Karma in the house. Karma, thank you for the $10 super chat. That's going to go and get donated to the San Diego Food Bank. We've already crushed our goal from last month, and I'm really excited to see how many meals we offer this month too. Love you, brother. Thanks for being awesome. You are an inspiration. You are an inspiration, my friend. Go and hog on the YouTube videos. Definitely check out Karma Cashflow. I mean, I think he shot 160 some odd videos in the last 2 weeks, which is redonkulous. Thank you so much for that. Question from Fernando. On your podcast cheat sheet, you mentioned a release form. What is it, and do you make all your guests sign it? Do you ever need to use it in court? I've never needed to use it in court. In most cases, if you ask a person to be on a podcast and they agree to do it, that's good enough. However, many people in my course, a lot of my students have just wanted something that's a little bit more formal. Their attorneys are wanting to make sure that happens. So we've provided a release form in the Power Up Podcasting course that I have. And you can find them elsewhere online, boilerplate ones. You can find them on Upwork.com if you wanted to have one designated and designed for you. But you could likely find one online. I'm not an attorney or a CPA or a legal person. This is just my opinion. There's my disclaimer. Philip, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you coming in right there. Amazing streak. And again, what an amazing shirt you have this time. You know, so far I think we've gone all 29 days with a unique shirt. I'm not 100% sure that that's true. This one may have been a repeat, but hey, I just ordered another batch of shirts because we have to keep the streak going. Yes, that probably means I'm gonna have hundreds of unique shirts, but hey, if you see a shirt that you think I'd love to wear here on the income stream that's sort of quirky and dad jokey and either that or inspirational, but you can be a dad joke and inspirational too at the same time. By the way, look out for tomorrow's because I have a dad joke shirt that I'm excited to wear for you. Anyway, if you see and happen to find a shirt that I might like to wear, use hashtag the income stream on Twitter or Instagram and just point it in my direction. Please don't buy it for me. I will get it myself, and we'll have some fun with that too. So Quaranteam YouTube. What? There's a channel called the Quaranteam YouTube. I like that with super fans in the title. That's amazing. By the way, Denise, thank you so much for the super chat. Filipinos can grow beards. Is that true? I didn't know that was true. Well, anyway, if that's true, well then double E power for that. That's great. Philip, we got the Philip super chat. Okay, here's the one I was talking about. What? Quarantine YouTube. Is this a special channel you've created to support here, the show, the income stream, the Quaranteam, or is this I would probably assume with superfans being in the title, that's awesome. Yep, we did just that. Say hello to your new friend, Pat. Email the Quaranteam superfans at Gmail for an invite to our Slack group. Awesome. Fantastic. Good stuff. Thank you. Terrell here says, with the $5 super chat, hi Pat, besides the Back to the Future franchise, can you name another childhood movie you love to watch and why? Yes, No Retreat, No Surrender. Yeah, I pulled that one out. Do you all know or have ever heard of that movie? No Retreat, No Surrender. That is a Bruce Lee movie. It's actually not starring Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is the inspiration, the apparition that shows up to help support this person who moves from one location to another, joins a gym, and has to defeat in a tournament the other dojos. Very Karate Kid, but a little bit more, I don't know, less kiddie, I guess you could say. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I used to be big in karate. I was a black belt in Taekwondo, second Dan. My mom's a 5 Dan black belt, by the way. My mom, in fact, is only 4'11". She's competed in brick breaking competitions. They don't have a gender-specific competition for brick breaking, but my mom, even at the age of 50, was breaking bricks, not only with her hands, but even with her head. So yes, you can imagine how scared my wife is about my mom sometimes, especially when she rages. She doesn't rage. Sometimes she rages, but she's never raged to April. My mom's a beast. She's a 4'11" beast. She's absolutely insane. Anyway, yes, good stuff. That's not really a franchise, is it? Can you name it? Oh, it's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie. So I'm going to stick with that one. No Retreat, No Surrender. Mike's Home ESL says, what mixer table are you using? So I'm using here the Rodecaster Pro with all these beautiful LED buttons. I have a video about the Rodecaster Pro. If you haven't seen that yet, I'd recommend checking that out because it's the not so technical review. I'm not a very technical person. I just know what works and what doesn't, what I like and what I don't, and I share that. So you can look that up on the YouTubes here. And yeah, it's a good box. It's about $500, and out of the box, you just plug in your XLR microphone. It actually just works beautifully. Plus, has all these amazing other components to it. You can record into an SD card. You can Bluetooth put in your phone. You can have sound effects like bruh and all that kind of stuff. Cool. While I take a sip of coffee, let's hear some more music. Okay, so our light goal for today, by the way, is 175. We are 97 there. 97, 98 now, as I'm seeing this. 98 more likes is all we need. 175. And then I'm going to share a collection I've never shared with anybody before. This is a collection that is not the other thing that I shared the other day, which we met our goal barely at the end of a chat a couple days ago. And I shared with you a very unique book collection. This is not a book collection. This is actually a collection that relates to my executive assistant. What? Do I collect executive assistants? No, I don't collect executive assistants, but I have an amazing executive assistant named Jess. And she and I do something together that relates to a collection, very unique, that I wanted to share with you. There's a lesson in there tied to team culture that I can't wait to share with you. So let's get to 175 likes. If you can hit that thumbs up, that'd be great. And we just increased by like 20 in just a moment right there, which is awesome. So good stuff. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back into a few more questions for about 11 more minutes. Then we're going to do a website review. We have an intro for that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, stick around. But there we go. Question, is your B camera on EOS R as well? So my B camera is this one right here. This is a Logitech Brio, B-R-I-O. There's also other popular webcams, but this is the one that I like because it's a little bit higher quality than the Logitech C920. So this is the Logitech Brio 4K. What's up? Not the best lighting because the lighting is meant for this one here, but I have a side view here just to give a little behind the scenes. Got my Post-it notes for some notes. Instead of this Rodecaster Pro, by the way, gives you a card like that to know what button goes where. Yes, there's a bruh button, by the way. But it was hard to look at, so I actually just cut out some little stickies like this. By the way, hot tip, if you never know where to look on your FaceTime camera, if it's on a laptop, just pop a sticky note like that on there where the camera points, and you'll always be reminded to look at the camera. Because one of the big pet peeves that I have is when I'm talking to somebody and they're looking down here. I'm like, yo, my eyes are up here. Don't look down here. Anyway, this is the bruh one, the blue. Bruh. There we go. So yes, that's the Samsung, not the Samsung. That's the Logitech Brio, B-R-I-O. You're welcome. Common Cashflow says, will you ever do YouTube channel reviews? Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be a good one to do. I'd like to do some sales page reviews in the future. I'd like to do some channel art on podcast reviews, podcast description reviews. I'd like to do all the reviews at some point. And I think maybe we can do this as themes every single day at some point in the future. But for right now, just website reviews is what I'm up to. But yeah, I'd totally love to do some YouTube channel reviews. I don't know if I'm qualified to do YouTube channel reviews, although, and I've told this story before, you don't have to be the leading expert in order to help people. You just need to know a little bit more about somebody else. And I think I've been here now on YouTube for 11 years. But obviously just in the past couple years, have I really been taking it seriously? We've definitely seen a growth. And even now going daily consistently here with the live stream. And yeah, I've seen growth from that. But also my other videos too, being consistent, at least popping 1 or 2 in every single week. Got a new one that I just filmed last night that my editor is working on right now. It should be live tomorrow, so make sure you hit that bell notification icon. It's not live, it's gonna be published, but hit that bell notification icon. It's gonna help you get more traffic. Does that sound good? Anybody interested in getting more traffic or listeners to their podcast or viewers on YouTube? If yes, let me know in the chat with a thumbs up. That'll also help us get to our like goal. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, that's what that video is about. I'm excited to share it with you. Awesome. Let's get some more questions. Here we go. Allison, I'd like to start a Facebook group. Do you suggest making one for an email list, a course, or my whole audience? Thanks. I don't quite know if making one for an email list would make the most sense, because an email list is almost just like a supplemental way for your brand to be able to connect directly with people, to distribute personalized messages, perhaps, or broadcast messages. It kind of works in tandem with the Facebook group, but it's not necessarily for a Facebook group. A course, you could have one, definitely. I have a Facebook group for each of my individual courses as well. Provides a nice, safe, great space for people to connect with each other, especially the newbies who come in. It makes them feel great knowing that other people are taking the course before them. They can share wins, they can share questions, you can pop in there every once in a while. A Facebook group for a course goes a very long way, for sure. I've seen that provide massive value to my course students. And then for your brand in whole, I have one of those as well, and I have a moderator in there who's keeping the conversations going. It's really great. However, Facebook groups are a little bit limited, I've found. I mean, there's only so much you can do with them, and the way they're structured, it's just not great for archiving conversations, right? It's very social media, because it's on Facebook, right? What happens with social media messages? They get sent, they get seen, and then they disappear forever. I'm really looking forward to the time where SPI will start to migrate. Jim, for the shout, for the super chat, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. I'll get to your question in just a moment. But yeah, what was I saying? Totally forgot what I was going in. Totally spaced on that. Wow. That never happens. Somebody remind me what I was talking about, because I totally just spaced. That never happens. But obviously it does. Jim, to your question, and I'll pop back in and answer the other one in just a moment. Or finish answering the other one in just a moment. From Jim, hi Pat, where can I find you talk about using Post-it notes to organize when you write your books and for other projects? Look up on YouTube how to plan anything. Actually, I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to go to Google. By the way, this page right here, if you haven't gone yet, this is where you want to go if you want to find some free stuff to help you in this stuff right here. Oh, Facebook groups, thank you so much. I'll get back to that in just a minute. But the online business toolkit over here, Pat at or smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. We got some free resources there, including podcast episodes, books, courses. We've given away over $1.3 million worth of that course. Anyway, let me go to YouTube really quick. YouTube.com. Hey, 173 people watching. Awesome. Been watching a lot of art from Jazza. That guy's awesome. So look up how to plan anything, Pat Flynn. In this one here, how to plan anything so you actually get it done.
Have you ever tried to plan something and just completely overwhelmed?
With no beard. How weird is that? Oh my gosh, stop. I don't like that. that looks really strange. It's weird how just after a couple days, like, new normal, and then the old thing, like when you get a haircut and you're like, I forgot what my hair looked like before when it was long. Woo, that was crazy. Anyway, Facebook. I'm really excited to get into other community software that's being built right now. For example, there's one called Circle.so that I actually recently signed on as an advisor for. So make sure to check that out, Circle.so. It's sort of like, so far, what I love about it, it's the best of Facebook groups with the best of Slack all in one space. And plus, we're working with them to create some really amazing things to potentially highlight a community that will be featured in the future. So check that out. Cool. More coffee. Jaza is great. Love the guy. Australian, very honest, very open. He did a video, Jaza, where he was exposing, those artists who draw like printers. Like they start at the top and they go, and like by the bottom, it's like this amazing drawing. He exposed how they did that, and it was based on tracing. When he did that, a creator on YouTube who's very popular who does those reached out to him and very respectfully said, "I'm sorry, thank you, Jaza. I feel really respected that you highlighted my work, but that's actually not how I do it. I actually do it this way." And then created a video in response to Jaza with 3 camera angles to basically say, "See, I'm not lying here. I'm not tracing. I'm doing it in a legit manner." And then Jaza came out with another video. Essentially, it was like a 13-minute apology. And I thought that was very honest and very vulnerable of him to do that. And I thought it was really cool, just the art community being so kind to each other, respectfully, sort of, still being, respectful even when people were disagreeing with each other. I thought that was really neat. So that was pretty awesome. AVPers, exactly what? I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but here's a question from Rob, who had to drop early yesterday. How do you recommend promoting my site to my LinkedIn, etc. connections? 1, I don't want to come across sleazy, and 2, should I use my personal account or business account? Thanks. I think if it's the cool thing about LinkedIn is it's very business centric, right? So people expect you to talk about your business and what you have to offer there. However, I still recommend thinking about this social media platform like any other social media platform. And here is how we would go about it. And again, we're about 3 minutes away from some website reviews. We're gonna do 2, they're about 3 minutes each, usually go a little bit longer. But anyway, Rob and everybody else, this is how you might consider what the social spheres are like, all right? Social media is like a giant party. It's just like a giant party. Imagine going into a gym where there's a party going on. What do you see there? Do you see everybody in a perfect formation in a line? No, not unless they're line dancing and there's a song playing, right? To the left, to the left, to the left, whatever that song is. What's the other one? It's like, hop 1 time, 2 time, now da-da-da. Okay, sorry, that was really bad. Woo, okay. Social media is like a party. You go into a party, what do you see? You see clusters and groups of people having conversations. What we think we need to do is go in there and go, yo, hey, check me out, look at my business. If you do that, if you go to one of these people or one of these groups who are having a conversation, you're like, hey, my name is Pat Flynn. Would you like to buy my Tupperware? And you have Tupperware in a trench coat, and they're gonna be like, why are you doing that? And they're gonna give you the cold shoulder. They're gonna kick you out from that group, right? So no, you don't wanna be there. You wanna join the conversations that are already happening. And you join a conversation, you might find a group that says, hey, we're into food storage. We're into paleo food preparation. Okay, cool. You can be like, oh, that's really cool. What kinds of foods do you prepare? You can have a conversation, and then the conversation starts to go into storage, and then you start to go, oh, by the way, I happen to be a Tupperware expert. Really? Like, what do you use to store? Oh, well, I use these here. Oh, you had those there? Okay, cool. Well, tell me more about them. You're invited to the party more if you join the conversations and you have the ability to just insert yourself in a way that provides value, right? So Rob, on LinkedIn, there are conversations, there are groups that are happening. Just posting like on your feed is not gonna work quite as well as getting involved in conversations with groups. If you do post to the feed, try to target a group that you could actually reach out to and provide value to and teach, right? You don't even have to actually even have them point elsewhere. People will find where to go later. Do what Tim Ferriss did when he launched the 4-Hour Workweek. Try to get so interested in what other people are doing that they can't help but be interested in you, right? We need to stop trying to be so interesting and start getting interested. Let me repeat that one more time because that's big. We need to stop trying to be so interesting and start getting interested. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Last question here, we'll get into some site reviews. Building a personal brand site. What's your advice? All right, what is your advice? So, personal brand site. What are personal brands all about? They're about connection. So more than anything, how can you on your website connect with the person on the other end? There's many different ways to do that. Connection through language, are you describing exactly what that person on the other end is going through or what their needs are? What is it that they need help with? And can you connect with them with just the first 7 to 10 seconds that they land on your website? How might you be able to do that? Connecting with a language, what do they ultimately want? How might you help them? What are their struggles, pains, problems, etc.? How can that be showcased? Number 2, if you're building a personal brand, you need to get a little bit personal. You'll need to show up and show your face at some point. You'll need to describe your qualifications, what you do, but not at the start. I think we, do y'all remember Christoph's website review, where it was a beautifully designed website, but it started with a third-person account for who Christoph was and how well qualified he was, and he was overly qualified. It was like a massive qualification for what he was teaching, but there was nothing about what he could do for others. It was all about him. And I think that the idea was, well, if I qualify myself in that way, people are going to assume. No, we have to be so blatantly obvious about what we can do to help others. And number 3, if you can show how you're connected with other people in the space, and if you don't have those connections yet, build those connections. By far, those are ultimately gonna catapult you faster than anything. And then number 4, what are you standing for? That's the other thing. Of all the people who are also talking about the same thing, what's your position? What's your take? Do you have a framework, something that can be interestingly and easily digestible and shareable? So these are some just quick tips for you with personal brand. And then focus on those things first before, well, what's the website look like? What's the logo look like? Those are secondary, right? A lot of people start businesses by what? Creating business cards first, right? If you've read Will It Fly, you know this story. Back in high school, for whatever reason, there was a moment where everybody was publishing and creating their own business cards. Like literally high school kids were creating business cards, and it would say their name, it would have like their talents on it and have some like clip art logo on it, and they'd hand them out to friends. It was like the cool thing to do. And yes, because I was a lame kid, I just wanted to do what all the cool kids did. I actually went into the office and I had a design at home with clip art with Patrick Flynn, black belt in Taekwondo, video game expert. Like I literally put those things on there and I had them printed at the office and I handed them out to my friends who, guess what, already knew what my phone number and pager number was. And yes, I had a pager too. That's how lame I was. Whew. Little rant about myself. By the way, we're on our way to the light goal, so make sure to check that out. We got a half hour left. I'm going to get into some website reviews, and you know what that means. It's time to kick it up a notch. All right, website reviews. Let's do this. So what I need you to do is, excuse these glasses because I literally can't see through them. But Ellen says, LOL, this is the best. Thank you. Just something fun to break it up, right? Let's be silly. Let's have some fun. So what I need you to do is pop in your website URL. It's going to be something that I'm going to do 2 website reviews. These are done at random, by the way. Just kind of whoever captures my attention in some way, shape, or form. YouTube will not let you pop in the URL the way it is. You're going to have to be a little creative in getting it through to me. I promise in the near future, we're going to have a better way to collect these and feature them. But yeah, so let's do that. I'm writing these down. Sip of coffee and then we're off. Cool? I don't know why I love that so much. I do. I love that. Okay, no. All right, well, let's do 3. I could do 3 today. All right, let's go to the interwebs and make this happen. I'm gonna type in the first one. It'll be sort of like a fun surprise. Also, it'll make sure that I can get there first. Awesome. Okay, here we go. First up, we got, for 3-minute site review, Allison Lyon Art. Here we go. Allison Lyon Art, awesome. I see exactly what you do here. You sell stuff that you create, and it's beautiful. It actually looks amazing. So I'm just gonna do a quick overview. Love the images, love the pictures. I love that I could see you building the artwork here too. I think that's very important for anybody who's an artist or creating anything. Sharing what you create and how you create it is really, really important to me. And that's how a lot of where I've gotten to where I am today, sharing the process along the way. I think it just makes the story of what it is you're selling even cooler. Wow, look at these mushrooms with a snail on top. Anyway, what I would love to see here is a little bit more about, well, what makes Allison Lyon Art unique? What's the style? If you were to frame this into one sentence, what would it be? So that way, I don't just see Allison Lyon Art, I see a little bit of something that makes me go, oh my gosh, yes, this is so cool. Or when I share this with somebody else, how might I describe Allison Lyon Art to somebody? We need to make sure that this is something that is shared here, a tagline, nature in your home or something like that. Just something of that nature, that makes it just a lot more connecting to what it is that you do specifically. In addition, I would love to see you here. I want to see you. And I don't know if you don't show your face here. Maybe you do. I'm not. Oh, you do. I'd love to see you on the homepage. I think that would be really amazing because we can't just assume that people are going to go and follow your story. I think even just a small image. This is a great video, by the way. But this image here, or actually, I prefer one like with a piece of artwork that you might have. Love the story here. This is a great place to also build your email list as well. I don't know if you're doing that. You have a free watercolor class. I think that's really neat. Free guide. This is on Teachable. I can tell by the style. Get started. Sales page here, which is great. Curriculum, fantastic. You're offering something of value for free, which is cool. Make sure that opens on a new page, by the way. That opened on the same page and took me away from your website. Anything that links to outside of your website, always link to a new page, a new tab. 100 Days of Watercolor. This is really cool. Now, are these unique prints? That's the other thing. Are these completely unique, or are they sort of copies? If they were absolutely unique, then let's make that a thing. I mean, that's even more valuable, that there is no other thing like it out there, unless they're reprints, in which case then you don't have to share that. But maybe there's a certain limited amount, right? Scarcity is a big thing here. There's only 10 of this. Get it now before it's out, right? That plays on people's FOMO, fear of missing out. Let's go to the shop, by the way.
I believe that
free shipping on orders. That's really cool. Okay, so this, I wanted to go to the shop. Oh, okay. I have to click down here. Stickers. Man, this is incredible photography. Well done. It's beautiful. Lovely art, as you can see, Martin says here. I want to go back to this page here. This video is great. Very much, very in tune with what it is that you teach and talk about here, obviously. But it takes up so much room right at the top. I would love to see a picture of you. This, I believe, I love that. Then the video below that. So some text, an image of you, so I don't have to click play before I get to know you a little bit. I can choose to click play coming down the page and go from there. So that's just some quick high-level stuff, but ultimately, great website, especially if you're an e-commerce site. E-commerce sites are often very dry. They don't have a lot of personality. You can obviously tell there's a style here. I'd recommend pulling some of that onto your homepage, whether it's your picture and or a tagline, and then on your about page, shrinking that video or putting it down below the introduction of you. And then finally on anything that links outside of the website, make sure it links to elsewhere. Good stuff. Really like what I'm seeing there. All right, so that was Allison. Well done. We got a second one here. So I'm doing this a little bit differently. I would call out the person's name, and then I would be like, okay, let's go to your website. Now I'm doing it a little bit different. We're doing a little bit of a surprise. Does anybody's heart racing who popped in their URL? Again, I apologize. I can't get to everybody, but I'm going to get to as many as I can over time. And yeah, a little bit different. I'm just delaying now and probably making this even worse for you. But I saw this one come in, and then we're going to do one more. I said I was going to do 2. We're going to do 3, and we're going to go from there. So let's pop this up here and make sure that I can actually be here. Okay, here we go. Here is who is next on the chopping block. Boom. We got Sean in the house. Make your path creative. Make your path trust the work. Creative trek. Okay, cool. I love the sort of it's very hipster style, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just really cool. Cool. Let's do this. So we got 3 minutes. Make your path creative trek. Trust the work. Putting the power of creativity and wonder back on the map. We're a ragtag group of artists, designers, developers, mavericks, storytellers, and entrepreneurs who are creating new paths in life and business. I love that. I love the ragtag. Hey, this isn't for like suits and tie kind of people. These are artists, designers, creatives of all types. What do you want me to do here, though? Okay, you have a start here. That's good. Whatever the start here is, make that so big that like it should be right. There's a perfect spot right here, Sean, for a button. Start here, or join the group of ragtag creatives. Or are you a creative too? Come join us. And then what? What happens? What do I get out of this? I see you're putting the power of creativity back in the wonder on the map. I see who you are. I'm interested. What will I get out of this? Join the group and unlock your highest creative potential. Boom, something like that, right? And then click here to begin. And whatever that beginning is, I'm gonna click on that in just a moment. A start here page is very key because, hey, I'm brand new here. I need some guidance. I want you to tell me exactly what to do. And I agree, again, the logo looks amazing. It is shown twice here. So there's sort of, it may be a little bit of a waste here to have it here on the sidebar on the left-hand side and here as well on the home page. It's almost like double, right? So you could make this putting the wonder of creativity and wonder back on the map, or unlocking your highest creativity. Join us. We're ragtag. Like we want to be inviting, right? This is very much, hey, check out who we are. This is what we stand for. Awesome. But we need a call to action to join us, right? And whether that means subscribe to an email list, which you could also potentially put down here too. Anyway, I'm going to go to start here because that's really important to me. I'm going to click on start here. Okay. A little disappointed. We didn't start anywhere. We started where we were. So I guess this start here means that's the home page. So that's what the home page is. So I imagine if I go to episodes, I scroll down. If I click on start here, I'm going to go back to the top. Okay. So start here. I'm already started there. You don't need to tell me to start there again. I would rename this home and perhaps have a start here section that you create under this that would have start here. So when I click on it, it goes down, right? And then what you could do is go, okay, this is what we talk about here. Here's what you need to get involved with first. So I would literally even say step 1, join the email list. You'll get a weekly email that gives you a tip to unlock your creativity every single week, and you get to hear success stories. And your success story might be featured too. Join here, right? So you're selling a reason to subscribe if you don't have a lead magnet. Step 2, listen to this podcast episode. So guide them to the first podcast episode they should listen to. Not just, hey, listen to the podcast, but step 2, listen to this specific podcast episode here, right? So specific. I forgot to put the timer on, but we're going to keep going anyway. I know that we're a little bit over into that. But anyway, so very specific, right? On my Start Here page, we share a number of different podcast episodes that would help people in the very beginning, right? What would be, out of all the stuff that you've shared so far on your brand, the number one thing you would want a person to do when they start? Right. And I think that's really important because our blogs, our podcasts, our YouTube channels, it's just a mess of stuff that doesn't and shouldn't be consumed in the same order that it was created. Right. So what would be the top 1 to 3 episodes of your podcast? I see you have a podcast here, which is really awesome that they should listen to. That's where we should start. Right. Love that you have the podcast here, which is cool. And then a little bit about you, which is great. So the other comment here is, I love this image. Committed creative people can change the world. Your guide. So again, I'm missing the call to action. To me, the creative who landed on this page, who heard about you, Sean, who's here now, what are you going to rally me to do? That's what I want to see here too. Your guide. So that plus a start here page and connecting to the call to action is where I would focus. So hopefully this helps. Is this helpful for everybody else too? Just let me know in the chat if you're getting value out of seeing other people's website reviews. Again, I know that I can't get to everybody, but hopefully in the way that I'm presenting this, it's a way that you can also learn from others too. So Sean, thank you so much for being on the chopping block there. Appreciate that. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, by the way. We have a like goal over here of 175. We're about 30 away, so keep up the good work there. We got 15 minutes. Great feedback, says Sean. Thanks. Thank you. Great. Let's keep going with one more. Let's do one more. These are fun. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that again. So next up, we got another one that you'll have to wait for as I pop it up here. Okay. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm saying. Okay, let's do this. 210 people in the room. Thank you for being here. Thank you. All right, let's get into the website review. Today, we are reviewing Sophia's website, Born to Baseball. Sophia, here we go. 3 minutes on the clock. And boom, here we go. So 3 minutes, number one, first of all, great domain name, Born to Baseball. Like, this is for baseball. Like, it's very clear who this is for, right? And I'll even get into the copy that you have here. You're very close to having it perfect alignment on the homepage. But then I got dropped with this pop-up here, and I'm not a big fan of pop-ups before you let me browse the website, right? It's almost like, hey, I'm here, I'm enjoying what I'm saying. By the way, I have something more important to show you right now. And it's okay that you have a pop-up, but it came in a little too early. I would either have it be an exit intent pop-up or have it be something that shows after I scroll down the page a little bit more, in which case I'm wondering if you actually have another spot for me to get into, in which case maybe a pop-up's not needed. But free goal-setting guide for serious baseball players, the first step in maximizing your game on and off the field. Decent copy there. We need to, again, sell the reason to subscribe to the thing or get the thing. You're close. Again, a lot of what I'm seeing here is very close. So it's a great start. This is an amazing logo, by the way. This right here is awesome. This up here, not as awesome. BTB. I like what I saw on the pop-up instead. Anyway, here's what I was talking about with the copy. Are you a serious youth baseball player with heart, hustle, big dreams, desire to be your best? Yes? Then Born to Baseball is the best place for you. This is a very easy but very smart strategy to do to connect with somebody on the other end, right? Hey, are you this? Do you want this? Well, guess what? We have that. You're in the right spot. I like that. Where it is lacking, however, is, and this is a great website. I think this might actually be an old version of SPI that you have. Anyway, then Born to Baseball is a place for you. That's what I would change. Then Born to Baseball is I need to know what Born to Baseball will do for me. Yes, I know it's the place for me. Great. But what is it going to do for me? Is it going to help me become a better player? Is it going to help me, like, you've connected with me. Now drive it home. How is it going to actually help me? Again, the big theme here. This would be a great place to potentially even put a subscription box. So I would move the text perhaps, or I would flip this image. This is what I would do. I would mirror the image so the ball's on the right-hand side. I would have this text here. Are you a serious youth baseball player with heart, hustle, big dreams, and your desire to be the best? I wouldn't even have them in a check mark. That way we can move things up. I would have them just in a sentence. Yes, then Born to Baseball is a place for you. We're here to help you become the best player that you can, which means not just increasing your batting average on the plate, but increasing your batting average in life or something like that, right? Like, I don't know. You can get a little creative with that, but something that makes me go, yes, that's exactly what I want, right? You need to tell me a little bit more about what I get here. And then I would have an opt-in form. So replace the pop-up with an opt-in form for want to get started today. Get our free guide to help give you our free guide that you could read in 15 minutes, and it'll help you, achieve something that you've never achieved before. Whatever the copy is around that. So I would have the text here, and then the lead magnet here. Get rid of the pop-up for now, and then you're going to be collecting email addresses right in your hero image right here. It'll sell the website. The logo, the other one was better. The other one. So Born Baseball is a one-of-a-kind. Okay, some more information here. Evan is your podcast host. He's eager. So yeah, this is your son, I think, hosting the podcast, right? Which is really cool. Which is awesome. So this is, amazing. for a kid to be doing this. So here we go. Another place to subscribe, join the team, get instant access to our free goal setting guide, newsletter, and updates. Yeah, I mean, if that was up here, I think that would do the job for you. This seems very just sort of like added on afterwards. Let's go to the podcast really quick. And then I want to go to the About page to learn more about Evan. Calling all youth baseball players. Listen to interviews with pros. So I see you're using the Smart Podcast Player, or AKA Fusebox. You got the episodes. Okay, that's not terrible. I would have perhaps a little bit more description of what the show is. There's a pop-up again. We don't want pop-ups showing multiple times, especially after I've exited out. Let's go to the About page. Dude, okay. By the way, I think, yeah, I love that Evan's the host of the show. That needs to be more prominent. I really love that. Like, I want to see him. Like, I don't want his 5th grade picture. I want his picture with his team celebrating with a trophy or something, right? I love that there's a letter to the person watching on the other end. I think that's great. Cool. Yeah, not a bad start. I really like what I'm seeing there. And obviously some really great commentary here in the chat as well. So well done to Evan. Pass on my awesomeness, and thanks to Evan for being there and for you setting this up for him. Off to a great start. Again, I'm being a little bit nitpicky here. When I get nitpicky like that, it's a good sign because it typically means a lot of the other things are mostly taken care of. So well done. I appreciate that. Also, make sure to hit that goal thing. The goal thing. We are 12 away from our goal, and we're actually on pace to hit that, it looks like. Fantastic stuff. Also, a number of you I see are talking about equipment to use to record. A couple places you can go to. If you go to patflynn.com/live setup, you'll see the stuff that I use here in the room, including some other stuff that I don't use that are more budget friendly because I definitely go a little bit more higher end. I also have a place at kit.co/patflynn. If you don't know what Kit is, it's actually a pretty cool website. I'm going to go to kit.co really quick. So let's go to kit.co. Kit.co is a place you can sign up for to then create little sort of catalogs of different types of things that you use that you can become an affiliate for. So you connect your Amazon associate account here. And what it does is, let's say, for example, Adam Buchanan here, right? Work from home video gear. So this is what he uses. I can click on this, and it's an affiliate link for Adam. The cool thing is, and here's all the gear here that you can see, all listed very nicely. I can even with one button click to add all of them, I think, at some point. Can I? I thought I could do that. Maybe I can't anymore. Anyway, if you go to kit.co/patflynn, you'll see that I have this here too. And yes, this actually doesn't come at any cost to you. You use this, I don't know how they're making money or what, but they don't take anything. It's all the Amazon Associates stuff goes there for you. Anyway, you can find my stuff here, and you'll see the beginner podcasting kit seen over 10,000 times here, which is awesome. And this is, of course, the Samsung Q2U, a boom arm, the microphone, and then I even have a light podcast travel kit here too, showcased with the Rode Smart Lav and microphone here. So kit.co/patflynn is where to go. Also a great website to have if you have groups of things that you want to clump together as a resource to help people. If it's gear or equipment or other things you buy on Amazon that you want to cluster together, this is a really simple, easy way to package those things together and make it simple for you to start generating more affiliate income. It's pretty cool. Coach Constance, thank you so much for the super chat. You're amazing. Let's get back into this. And it looks like we are very close to hitting our light goal. We got 6 more minutes. Let's hopefully see if we can get that. Let's go into Coach Constance's super chat here. For all you, thanks for all you do. You're appreciated. I appreciate you too. Question: what's the difference between Rodecaster buttons and Stream Deck? Stream Deck, there's app for it on their site. Thoughts? Okay, so the Rodecaster Pro has buttons that you can use for sound effects, right? Like this one here. And that's all you can use those buttons for. The Stream Deck, which you can see, actually I can go to this other view here. The Stream Deck, which, let me get rid of this, allows me to control certain things in the stream here, which I can't do. This is like very much used for video, although you can create some things. You can actually have these buttons do a lot of things. I can have them be sound effects, but I have them do so much more. For example, I can have a link. So these are just overlays that I've connected using the Stream Deck sort of app that connects with Ecamm. There's a very nice integration. I can click this one here. Boop. Team Flynn for the win. This one allows me to show, like if I go to the computer, Hey, that's you guys. I can turn on and off the little screen on the bottom left-hand side. My little thank you thank you animations. This is where I have the 3-minute timer. This is where I have this guy. And the goals. And it looks like we are almost at our goal. 3 away with 4 minutes left. Are we going to get there? We're going to see. So anyway, the Stream Deck is largely for video and stuff that could be shown on the screen at the same time. The Rodecaster Pro is simply just for sound effects. Bruh. So hopefully that helps. Thank you, Coach. See, and I can change scenes. That's the other big thing. I can go from here to computer to here. So I wonder what happens if I just do this. I'm just buying time for you so we can get that thumbs up. So quick final question to answer, and then we'll get into, hopefully, yes, we reached our goal. Yay. Good job, everybody. We reached our light goal today. I'll share with you the fun, unique, interesting collection that relates to my executive assistant in just a moment. But let me answer this question for Mark really quick. I'm getting some pushback from my family members when I say I'm asking for email addresses on my website. They say they're not giving out their email addresses. What do you say in reply? So if somebody were to say that to me, I would say, well, you don't have to subscribe. You can check out the blog post if you'd like. However, I am sending emails every week to subscribers with more information, and you might miss out on that information if you don't subscribe. But again, you don't have to subscribe, and that's totally okay. But I'm building an email list there so that I can share more helpful info and stay personally connected to those people that I serve. Wouldn't you want me to better serve my audience? I would love to make sure that I communicate in the best way possible with the people who are following my blog. And that's essentially the reaction. That's how I would position it. If they don't want to subscribe, that's fine. But at the same time, I don't know how often you're asking them. If you're asking them to subscribe every single day, then I can imagine that they would get annoyed. But I'm guessing you're not doing that. But if they happen to see that you're asking all the time in a very aggressive manner, well, then I can see where the pushback might be coming from. But if they're not interested, then just like, okay, well, I mean, you're missing out, but you don't have to participate, and that's your jam. So that's okay. Cool. All right. Yes, and what Karma says here is I give them enough value and they'll want to. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know a lot of people are very protective of their emails, and that's totally understandable. But at the same time, how else am I going to send you something directly that is valuable to you, like a lead magnet or a checklist or something like that? There would be no way for me to do that. I mean, if it's family member, you can just send it directly to them, obviously. And even doing that manually a couple times just to be like, hey, see, I'm trying to be helpful. If you were on my email list, you would have gotten this last week. You get it automatically when I send it to everybody else who's following. And that's how I go about it. Cool. So let's go into the collection that I wanted to talk about. And this collection is with it's actually my executive assistant and I are both collecting these. And I'm going to share the side view camera. I'm going to pull up the switch pod. Yes, this is on a switch pod, by the way, as you can see. And I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to change the lighting so you're actually able to see this, what I'm about to point at you. Okay, so this collection here is right here. So these are pins that my executive assistant and I collect. Now, there's some Pat Flynn related ones there. There's super geeky ones like the Mario box in the lower corner, the donuts, like the hoverboard Mario Kart. Like, okay, what are these pins? What are they used for? We're gonna go with the switch pod here. So these are pins that Jess and we buy a pair of pins. They match, right? Like there's matching ones for each of them. Whenever we both accomplish something big, for example, last year at FlynnCon, or when we host a live workshop here in San Diego, or we overcome a really tough situation together, we buy pins, we buy a pair, she takes one, I take the other. So each of these pins has a story or an event that we both help to coordinate for people, mostly in live settings, but sometimes they're related to bigger problems that we've solved together. And it just becomes something fun that she and I can sort of, it just adds to the culture of what we do, and it makes us more tied together. It makes us want to support each other more. I think support for your for an executive assistant has to go both ways, right? She or he has to support you, but at the same time, you have to support them too. And this shows our appreciation to each other. And I think that is really fun. So hopefully that helps inspire you. And if you have an executive assistant, are you doing anything to make them feel like, well, they're maybe a little bit more special than some of their other clients, perhaps? So it doesn't have to be pins. It could be anything, but just something traditional that you and your executive assistant do, or other team members that you might have do, that just makes it more special, that makes you feel like you've gone and have overcome some obstacles, or that you've achieved certain goals together. It just makes it so much better, and the connection that you have moving forward. And I got to say, I'm very, very thankful for my executive assistant, Jess. She's amazing. Likely you've connected with her. Not AV Piers, sorry. AV Piers is here, by the way, and he's awesome. But this is Hey Archer with the donation, $1.99 present. What's up, everyone? What goal? So we hit goal. Yes, we hit goal. I was describing the pin collection that Jess, my executive assistant, and I collect a pair of pins every single time we achieve something big. We have this ritual after the event's over. We share the pins with each other. We thank each other for the hard work that we've done together. And we say it's a pleasure working with you, and we're going to continue it moving forward. So, yep, that's the collection. We have a pin collection, and it's growing over time. Let me see if I can share a couple special pins with you out of this, and we'll finish up. Whoa, sorry. Should have waited, but I'm on the Switch Pod. Switch Pod. So you'll know where that one's from. Back to the Future, Part 2. This one's a favorite. I don't know if I can say that. Ice Cube Fishing. Yes, Ice Cube Fishing. It's not zooming in like I want it to. This one's a great one. Some Harry Potter in the house. Professor Snape anime version. Anyway. Hey, thanks for reaching the goal today. Thank you so much. Hey, we got the thumbs down today. Thank you so much. I was waiting for you. That makes me so happy because we don't want these to look too perfect, and I'm not perfect, and that showcases this beautifully. So thank you so much for the thumbs down. I appreciate that. Anyway, make sure you pop in tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to go live every single day so long as we are in this crazy quarantine situation, and we'll see what happens. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening out there. I don't get political here on the show, so you don't have to worry about that. But just definitely keeping an eye out on what we can do to make this a little bit safer and most of all, just more entertaining. I'm here for you. I cannot wait for tomorrow. We're going to have some more fun. And yeah, big shout out to everybody whose websites were reviewed today. Let's keep going and keep that head up. And look out for a video coming out tomorrow related to how you can grow your website and blog traffic. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, thank you. See you in the Slack group, perhaps. I'm not going to be in there. That's all for you. But you'll see a link in the description below. See you on the interwebs. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific. Hope to see you here. And as always, peace out, and Team Flynn for the win.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Peace, y'all. Have a good day. Hashtag Quaranteam. Hashtag the income stream on Twitter, Instagram. See ya on those channels. Peace out.